Hi guys, welcome back to Not Your College Life. This is episode number 60. It's number 60. I'm your host, Lisa Beals. I am the Midwestern mom, college administrator who's done the college thing myself and put a couple kids through school and realized that administrators at the university, they don't make it easy on you or your student. They don't hand you a book with all of the syllabus, with the definition of terms, with all of the due dates. Nope, we don't give that to y'all. You got to figure it out. And you got to figure it out on about 100 different websites. So that's where I come in. I am here to bridge that gap for you. I'm here to teach you all the things so that you can pass it along to your student, and then you can just instead focus on empty nester syndrome, right? Okay, in this week's episode, I wanted to talk about credit. AP credit, dual credit, directed credit. What are they? Why do you care? All the things you need to know. Okay? So, who cares? High school, if you have a high school junior or senior, AP and dual credit is the thing that you guys need to listen to. If you have a college student already, then the directed credit is the other piece for you in particular. AP credit. So AP credit is advanced placement. Some call it advanced prep. Officially, I believe it's advanced placement. It is, AP credit is administered by the College Board. So College Board is the organization that does AP testing. They do SAT testing. They do Clep testing. And they put out a lot of information on college search. So graduation rates, student to staff, student to instructor ratio, they do all the things. It's a nonprofit. Their board is made up of university staff from around the country. So they're a representative, air quotes, representative group that makes up their board. So AP credit, again, it's administered by College Board. It's advanced placement. If you want all the stuff, you can go to my show notes at lisabeals.com, okay? AP credit is administered by College Board. It allows your student to take an exam, and then based on their exam score, they will earn college credit. They get to decide what university receives that score. They can send it to one, they can send it to none, they can send it to many. So that's a good thing. Now, the College Board website has a ton of resources. It even gives you links for your student to go and look, their college choices, how AP credit scores factor in. In other words, what grade, what score does your student need on the AP exam in order to get credit for X course at their university? So it looks like the exams in the U.S. are $95 per exam. There does appear to be a reduced rate of $33 for eligible students. So I'm guessing if you are on the free and reduced lunch program for your school, you may be eligible for a reduction in your fees. Go to the College Board website to look into that yourself. So what can AP credit get your student? It can allow them to earn college credit without actually sitting through the course. It can significantly save tuition dollars, right? If you think that $95 exam could potentially earn your student a 3, a 4, or in some cases a 5 credit university course, that's a steal. College credits right now are, unless you go to a community college, but a 4-year university is hovering around $300 a credit hour. That's some good news for AP credit. Now, your student's going to have to study and learn the material, but if they are motivated and disciplined and can come up with a plan, they could save themselves a nice chunk of change in tuition dollars. So it could allow your student to skip a prerequisite in their first semester. It could allow them to bump ahead in their plan of study, and that could, in their first semester or two, especially when they're transitioning into the university, it could allow them to maybe take 12 credits instead of 15 or 18. I'm going to tell you, there's pharmacy students, engineering students, they take a heavy course load almost every semester. And the idea that you could give yourself a little breathing room as a student by taking some AP credit exams and allowing yourself to ease in a little bit more that first semester to allow for that transition could be amazing, right? You and your student know them best to decide, should we be planning now as a high school junior or senior to get some AP credit to give them a little breathing room in that transition? Or better yet, not better yet, or if your student is double majoring or wants to add a minor or a really cool certificate that's going to add additional credits, this could give them, again, that room to fit some additional stuff in without extending their time to degree or overextending them in a given semester. Having AP credit also demonstrates to the university that your student's applying to that they have the capacity and the drive to do more than just the minimum. Additionally, if you do well and you earn some AP credit, that will bump up your student's classification from a freshman, new beginner with 0 credits. They could come into the university as a second semester freshman or even a sophomore, which has its own perks, you might say, as far as housing, athletic tickets, parking permits, registration windows. There's some perks that come with having a leg up from your peers. All right, next is dual credit. It's similar because your student's going to take it before they get to college, but dual credit is also known as concurrent credit, and that is college credit and high school credit that's earned at the same time. And it's the same, the credit is the same used to fulfill both the college transcript and the high school diploma. They're double dipping. So dual credit is a classroom instruction in high school taught by a, quote, approved instructor that has the credentials to teach college level work. The high school will take this to fulfill your high school diploma requirements, and the university that's endorsing it, if your student passes the final exam at the end of the semester, will also earn them college credit. Another way it differs from AP credit is AP credit is just a 3 credit hour award. There's no GPA tied to how well or bad your student scores. So your student could score a 3 or a 5 and still get the same value of credit for the AP course. But for dual credit, they're going to earn a letter grade and GPA at the university that offers it. Now, I've seen this work as a double-edged sword. So if your student is doing dual credit at the university that they end up going to for their degree, so let me use Indiana University for example, because IU has a huge dual credit program across the state. My high school senior takes a couple dual credit courses through IU in high school, and they earn a C because it's college credit and it's hard. Then they apply and are accepted to Indiana University. They're going to start their IU degree with a 2.0 C average because they already had those 2 dual credit courses on their IU transcript. They're not starting from ground zero. They're starting at a 2.0. Conversely, I have seen students get a C- or a D in their dual credit, start at IU. First semester is a struggle, right? And they get less than a C average their first semester because the transition was hard. Now, instead of just starting their first semester on probation when the semester closes because they've earned less than a 2.0 for the term, they're not on probation. They potentially could be academically dropped because when they took the dual credit, remember, as a high school student, they were already placed on probation because they earned less than a 2.0 in the dual credit. So they started their degree-seeking plan, their degree-seeking program at IU. They started it on probation. Did they know it? Maybe. Maybe they never read that email. Maybe no one looked at it when they advised them to say, did you realize? No. It doesn't happen a lot because the number of students that take their dual credit and then end up going to the university that offered it for their degree, then it's not a huge number, but I've seen it happen, and it is devastating to those kiddos to realize one semester, you're out. Sorry. It was hard, wasn't it? The other side of that, though, is your student took their dual credit that IU offered in high school, but they're applying to Purdue and want to go to Purdue. They're not going to start out in the hole there because let's say they did get a C. That credit will transfer, but only as credit, like the AP exam. It's just going to be credit. It's not going to bring their GPA down. But if they earned less than a C, that credit won't transfer, right? They could have a D, have earned credit at IU because I completed the course. I didn't do stellar, but I did earn a D. I've got 3 earned credits at IU, but no university is going to transfer that in. So in that instance, it won't necessarily hurt your student. Is that confusing? I think maybe it is, but that's just how it works, right? So if I need to clarify that more, message me, okay? Dual credit. Here's the other thing about dual credit that's pretty cool. So like AP, there's a reduced rate, right, for students that are eligible. In the state of Indiana, if your student is on the free and reduced lunch program, their dual credit is free. It's free. Now, some things I see with that is sometimes students on the free and reduced lunch are in rural communities that don't have dual credit even available to them. So that kind of sucks. There's no way for them to take advantage of it. But if dual credit is available to your student and you both think that they have the capacity to be successful, I strongly encourage it. Give it a shot. If they're not sure, still give it a shot, but then have them make sure to ask, what are the deadlines to withdraw? Because you can still withdraw and get a W, and that won't penalize you. But at least you gave it a shot. So I would encourage, if your student has dual credit available to them, at least entertain the idea, because y'all, free and reduced lunch students get it for free. Even if you're not on a free and reduced lunch in the state of Indiana, it's $25 a credit hour. That's $75 for a 3 credit hour class. That's insane. Let me tell you what the tuition is per credit hour at Purdue main campus. $329.05. At IU Bloomington, it's $307.67. Ivy Tech, way more affordable, as you expect. It's $149 a credit hour. That's still half. Half. You could get half price if you take it in high school. And sometimes, many times you're going to have an IU faculty or a Purdue faculty credentialed that's teaching this. Why wouldn't you take advantage of it if you have it? Why? So there's dual credit. All right, then we're going to move on to departmental credit. This is for college students. You cannot get departmental credit if you are a high school student. You have to be enrolled in a degree-seeking program at a university to get departmental credit. Not every course has departmental credit available to you. The faculty in charge of the curriculum, remember we talked about plan of study. The faculty in charge will determine, am I going to allow a student to earn credit without actually sitting through my course? So can they take an exam? Can I do some kind of assessment with this student to determine, do they already have these learning outcomes mastered so that I can give them credit without them sitting through all of that? Now, sometimes students have to pay for it, sometimes they don't. So your university will disclose that. I know at Purdue, a student doesn't pay for departmental credit. They may pay for an exam, but they don't pay for the credit that's earned. Lifetime ago, when I was at IU, if your student if your student did an exam for departmental credit within their first year, they didn't pay for it. If they waited and tested for that credit after their first year, then they were going to pay the per credit hour rate. So there was an incentive to be timely about it. I've not looked to see what IU's current policy is, and I would suspect it's probably going to be different for each campus. But student needs to do their homework. I would ask their advisor, and then I would also email the registrar's office for the official verdict on that, because some advisors, it's a lot to juggle, but the registrar's office would be the authority that would know with certainty, how does department credit work? Do I have to pay for it? Is it free? Do I just pay for the exam? Registrar at blah, blah, blah is generally where you can get a hold of the registrar. Okay, so reasons to do departmental credit. There's no GPA, so you could just squeak by and still get the earned credit, and it won't hurt your GPA as a student. Now, if you rock it, it's not going to improve your GPA because there is no GPA tied to departmental credit. It's just, I'm checking a box on your plan of study to move you forward in your degree progression, which goes back to this whole theory, this whole suggestion that where your student can add credits towards their degree gives them some flexibility, some breathing room where they might need it. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Your student could potentially graduate early. I could see students graduating in 3 years if they're just following the basic 4-year plan of study and not doing any minors or certificates, and they don't shift majors. They could potentially take some AP credit, dual credit, a credit by exam. Here's the other thing. Many times, if your student is doing language in high school and then they have to do a language in college, or even if they don't have to, they'll take the language placement test. And if they place in a level higher than entry semester, once they complete that next course in the sequence with the passing grade, a lot of universities will award them credit for those lower level courses that they didn't actually take. But because they've demonstrated mastery in, let's say, Italian 201, I've demonstrated I've got a B in Italian 201. Now they're going to give me credit for Italian 101 and Italian 102. That's maybe 6 credits right there. Check in a box. 6 credits for the price of 3. Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get 2 free. Yes, buy one, get 2 free. Math is hard. So there's that, right? Other bonuses for dual credit is your student while in high school can kind of test drive what the rigor is going to be in college, to give them, to wet their whistle, to know what to maybe anticipate on a bigger scale once they go to college. Again, I cannot recommend dual credit enough for your student, but always, they need to know what the deadlines are for withdrawal. In case life gets messy or they get in over their head, they want to know where's that threshold so that I know when I need to pull the trigger to get out to save my GPA. Okay, things to keep in mind. Here's the downside I want you to consider. Not the downside. These are just the buyer beware that I don't think parents and students are made fully aware of before they go into AP dual credit, departmental credit, okay? Students should review their plan of study at the university they plan to attend or wherever their top choices are. Review the plan of study and then do a transfer credit articulation. Do the mapping. Everybody's got a website to show you how to do it, to see if I take these courses, if I take this exam, how is that going to translate to credit into that institution? And then you can't stop there. You have to continue on to see, where does this credit check a box on your student's degree plan? Because if it doesn't fill a box anywhere, then why are they doing it? Why? Why take underwater basket weaving as a high school student if it's not going to move you forward on your degree, on their degree progression in college? Why? Did you know that if your student receives financial aid, that they have to complete 67% of all the credits they attempt, and there is a 150% cap? So what that means is every withdrawal is going to be tallied over in the financial aid office. And especially when you're a new beginner, if you, I've seen it during COVID big time, because life happens. And if this was your first year and you had to withdraw during fall of 20 because you got sick or a family member got sick or someone lost their job, and now your first semester you have 15 credits of W's, that's a 0% completion of attempts. And even if you finish spring 21 successfully, that still leaves you at a 50% completion rate. So you're going to have to appeal financial aid to continue eligibility for financial aid. That's loans and grants. It's not impossible, and I see it's completely doable to get an appeal approved, but that's one more hoop you and your student have to go through. And if your student is doing AP or dual credit in high school and they have to withdraw from that, that's going to hurt their 67% completion rate. Additionally, if they're going to take 30 credits of AP or dual credit in high school, and 30 credits none of those work in a plan of study, they're not going to have any flexibility. They're not going to have any breathing room to add a minor or add a certificate or a second major and not run out of financial aid towards the end of their 4 years, because 150% of 120 credits is 180. So if I'm at 120 and I've already wasted 30, I'm at 150. So I have no breathing room to add another 30 for a second major, or 15 for another minor, or 20 for a certificate. Things get murky. So AP dual credit is a great thing as long as your student has done their homework ahead of time to determine these are going to check boxes at the university I plan to go to. And they're not just going to sit out here and be fluff and not get me anywhere. It's like buying a 50-pound bag of dog food because it was on sale, but you don't have a dog. Other disclaimers. If your student does AP credit, they have the responsibility to first decide, do I want the university to receive my test score? Why wouldn't you ask? I'm glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. Okay, sometimes I may score well enough to get me, here's a perfect example because I hear it all the time. I scored well enough on the calculus so that I can start in Calc 3 at X university. But my student has been smart enough and they've been doing their homework and they've looked at the Reddit threads and they've looked at the Snapchats and the GroupMe's. And they know that Calc 3 is incredibly hard at X university. So everybody recommends that you may get credit for Calc 2, so you can start in Calc 3. But because of how they teach Calc 3, you're better off starting in Calc 2. So that means I'm going to tell X University, I'm not going to tell them that I've got credit in X in Calculus 2, because if I get credit in Calc 2 and go there, they may make me take that, accept that credit, and start in Calc 3, and then I'm really going to struggle. And I don't want to get a D or an F in my first semester, so I'm not going to tell them that I took the test. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to start in Calc 2. Because I want to do well. I also see some students intentionally do that and start at a lower level to help boost their GPA, right? I may even start in Calc 1 because I can breeze through that. I can get an easy A. It's a 4-credit class. Sometimes I'm going to get an A. It's going to help me with my GPA because then I might be struggling in anatomy in the same semester, and that will help balance. That'll help balance my workload. It'll balance my overall grade. So your student needs to be strategic about their decisions. If they've taken dual credit, they need to fully disclose to the university they're attending that they have prior college credit. Don't think they're going to lie and get away with it. Omission is the same as a lie. In my job, I get letters from admissions saying, cancel their registration because we found out they lied on their application and we're revoking their offer. It happens. Don't let it happen to your student. Tell them, honesty is the best policy. It's cliche, but it's true. So if they took a dual credit course, they're going to need to report it, and then they're going to need to request that that transcript be sent to the university where they plan to attend. They should do that after they have seen the grade on that transcript. So if I am attending Purdue in the fall and I took a dual credit course in high school from IU, when I have been notified and I can see on my IU transcript that that grade is there, I am now going to log on to my IU website and I'm going to ask them to send that transcript to Purdue so that Purdue can review it and articulate it and load that credit on my transcript at Purdue. I am also going to just do a screenshot of that transcript from IU, and I'm going to bring it with me, or I'm going to share it with my academic advisor so that they have all the information that they need to help me select the right courses for the upcoming fall semester based on my degree pursuit and how comfortable I feel going into a new university. Okay? All right, so that is not an exhaustive list. There are Clep Exams, which is college level examination program. That is also administered through College Board. I will see students take that avenue when they've had a surprise moment and are a class short for graduation and it's too late to sign up for a class. That's what they'll do. They'll go to Clep and see what can I take that will check that box, and then they are going to cram for that. You know what happens? You know what you do to not make that happen? Your student does their homework every semester and reviews their plan of study every semester with their advisor, so there's no surprises. Planning. It's amazing. Then there's also Dante's, which is a similar testing. It's DSST. I think that is predominantly through the Department of Defense. You see a lot of military folk doing a Dante's test to earn credit through their military experience. It's a great resource. All right, you guys. So we covered a lot. We talked about AP credit. We talked about dual or concurrent credit. We talked about departmental credit. I told you what they were, why they take them, and then some little how to plan for them and the little caveats that not everybody fully discloses to you or your student about that. Things you got to know. All right. As always, I value your time. Thank you. I know you guys are busy. Thank you so much for spending time with me. If you want show notes, you head over to lisabeals.com and look for episode number 60 under my podcast and share this with a friend. I would appreciate it. Share it with a friend. And you know what? If you learned something that you didn't already know, do me a favor, tag me on social media and tell me, what did you learn? Tell me, what did you learn? So I know that I'm actually providing you information that you find helpful. I would love that. It would make me happy. All right, you guys, until next week, take care and I'll talk to you soon.